Welcome to the Akashic Library.
Have you ever felt kind of stuck? You know, like you're living the same day, the same problems over and over again? Well, today, we're going to break down a really powerful idea that says your reality isn't nearly as set in stone as you think. We're going to explore how the focus of your mind is literally the key to creating a completely different life. So let's just dive right into the main idea here with this quote. Your life is like a movie that you're watching, and your mind is the tape. Now, that sounds simple, right? But really understanding the difference between the movie, your current life, and the tape, your mind, that's the secret to changing everything. So what does it really mean when we say your life is a movie? This isn't just some nice-sounding phrase. It's actually a whole framework for understanding how your reality gets built, moment by moment. Okay, so think about everything you experience with your senses. The money or lack of it in your bank account, how your body feels right now, the people you hang out with, all of that, that's the movie. It's what's being projected on the screen of your life. It feels super solid and real, for sure. But according to this idea, it's just the result, not the cause. Now, let's say the movie you're watching is one you really don't like. The natural thing to do is to try and change it, right? But this right here is where most of us get caught in a trap, a nasty little cycle that just keeps us stuck. So you see something you don't want, maybe a bill you can't pay or a problem at work, and you react. You feel that worry, that frustration, that anger. But what you're essentially doing is shouting at the movie screen. You're trying to argue with a projection that's already been cast. And this leads us to a fundamental law of the universe. What you focus on expands. So by reacting with all those intense negative feelings towards the movie you don't want, you're actually just feeding it more energy. You're telling the projector, hey, I'm really focused on this tape. Keep it rolling. And this slide just lays out that loop perfectly. It starts with the movie playing. You see something you don't like. Then, step 2, you react with those negative feelings. That reaction, step 3, reinforces the very thing you're trying to get away from. And what happens? Step 4. The projector just keeps playing the same old movie. It's a totally self-perpetuating cycle. Okay, so if reacting to the screen is the problem, what's the solution? Well, this next part offers a completely different way of looking at things. It suggests the answer isn't to fight with the old movie, but to just choose a new one. And this brings us to this idea of the quantum field. Now, you don't need a PhD in physics for this, I promise. Just think of it like an infinite library. A cosmic library. And in this library, there isn't just one tape of your life. There are endless tapes, each one a different potential reality. I mean, really let that sink in for a second. The version of you who is healthy, wealthy, and just totally happy, that person isn't some far-off dream you have to build from nothing. According to this idea, that version of you, that tape, it already exists as a potential. It's just as real as the one you're living now, just sitting on a shelf waiting to be played. So how does a potential become real? How do you take a tape off the shelf and put it in the projector? Well, this slide shows it as going from a wavelength, all those possibilities just floating out there, to a particle, which is the solid reality you see and touch. And what's the bridge between the two? It's your focus. Your attention is what selects one of those potential tapes and makes it real. Okay, this is all pretty mind-blowing, but how do we actually do it? This is the fun part. The actionable part. Let's break down the practical method for consciously picking a brand new tape from that infinite library and hitting play. So the method itself is really a 3-step process. Step 1 is all about clarity. You have to decide exactly what new movie you want to experience. Get specific. Step 2 is probably the hardest. You have to intentionally stop reacting to the old movie. Just withdraw your focus from what you don't want. And finally, step 3 is all about alignment. You start thinking, feeling, and acting as if that new movie is already playing. This slide really boils the whole thing down. The old way is getting mad at the result. You're literally fighting with the movie on the screen. The new way is to go to the source and change the cause, which is the tape in your mind. Once you change the tape, the screen has no choice but to show something new. If this all still feels a bit abstract, don't worry. Let's look at one final, super powerful analogy that makes this whole concept incredibly simple and crystal clear. I want you to think about this. Smile if you want the mirror to smile. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror with a big frown on your face, just waiting for your reflection to smile first. It's never going to happen, right? A mirror can only reflect what's put in front of it. In your reality, it works exactly like that mirror. It can only reflect you. It can't show you a new reality until you change first. It has no choice but to mirror the thoughts and the feelings that you are projecting. Just like with the mirror, you have to be the one to smile first. And this brings us right back to the core message. The reason life stays the same for so many of us is because we spend our days reacting to the frowning reflection, getting upset that it's frowning, and in doing so, we just keep frowning ourselves. The change has to come from you, the cause, not from the reflection, the effect. So this leaves us with a really powerful, really empowering question. If you understand that your mind is the tape, that your focus directs your reality, and that you have an infinite library of possibilities to choose from, then the only real question left is, what movie are you going to choose to play next?
External change follows internal transformation, never the other way around. Next, turn setbacks into breakthroughs and manifesting through failure.